This is FinTech Futures reporting from Sibos in Frankfurt, and I'm joined by Vivek from TCS. Vivek, thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with us today. How are you doing?
Thank you, Paul. Great to talk to you. Doing good. Just got here and buzzing and busy.
Excellent. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference when we get there. But just to get started, would you like to quickly introduce yourself and let us know a bit more about your role at TCS?
Thank you, Paul. I head our financial services products and platforms business globally. So as part of this, what we deliver are solutions and also end-to-end services based on SaaS and BPaaS models for the financial services industry. We have two brands, TCS Banks and Quads, and also we have a company called Diligenta in UK through which we deliver these solutions.
Excellent. Sounds great. Well, you've just recently launched some GenAI capabilities for TCS Banks and Quads, as you mentioned there. Can you elaborate on how AI is transforming the banking and payments landscape at the moment?
It's evolving right now. It's still a little bit too soon to say how much it is completely transforming. But then I think there is a greater awareness now on how to use GenAI in a more fit for purpose manner than what we would have had in 2024. So for us, I think there are three dimensions in which we look at it. One, of course, is our own productivity, and that is not something that's directly in front of the customer, but how we use GenAI to improve the productivity of our people. So we are using it in an assist mode in which they work along with GenAI to improve their productivity. So that is one. But when it comes to our software, we are looking in terms of how we deliver it to customers. We are looking at two more in addition to what I mentioned just now. One is, how do we make GenAI a part of all our solutions? Today, if you look at how people work with AI, when you look at any of the ChatGPT, Perplexity, when you look at these, the way in which we all search, the way in which we look for information, we get information, that has changed dramatically in the last 2 years. So how do we bring that kind of experience to our users and our customers? That's an area on which we are doing a lot of work, and that will go pervasively across our solutions. The other area that we are looking at is what is it that we are doing today which leads to a lot of work for us and our customers in operations, and how do we take that and use GenAI to accelerate that significantly. Our first focus is on time rather than on people. For example, if it takes a lot, if you get information from which you create a corporate action, or if you take information from which you create an insurance product, how do you do that in a matter of 3 hours or even 2 days? Today, it very often takes 1 week to 10 days. So the compression of the time and the efficiency that it brings. So that's a focus that we have. So I think a lot of this is about driving a step change in terms of time compression and efficiency, and that is how we are looking at GenAI. That's what we are rolling out in our first wave of solutions, and then as our customers adopt them and then come back with feedback on what is it that they believe will give greater value, we will introduce more and more solutions leveraging GenAI, but they will sit along with our core.
Excellent. Sounds great. I guess aside from GenAI as well, tokenization, digital assets picking up a lot of traction recently. What kind of technology support are FIs looking for to incorporate these?
See, I think the realization that has come now is that these have to coexist with conventional asset classes. So I think what our customers are looking for is that they are not going to completely change their core systems. They are going to keep their core systems, electronic securities. And then how do tokenized securities coexist along with that? And then as an investor, how do you see that in one integrated form? So this is what our customers are looking for, and that is where we are also putting our time and effort into it. Of course, as volumes go up, there are aspects related to scale, there are aspects related to security that we need to tackle. I think security is easier tackled on blockchain than scale. Scale is coming. I think with every year there's a big step change in terms of the performance capabilities of technology. A lot of these technologies that are foundational in nature, and also technologies that are completely new, they will start at a high cost. That's what's happening with GenAI also now, right? The GPUs are quite expensive, but then if you look at it every 6 months to 1 year, the fall in prices of GPUs are significantly more than probably the fall in prices of anything else in the world. So similarly, the same thing happens with the performance and cost ratio of DLT also. So there is a greater ability to deliver these solutions, and the limitations that we used to have, let's say 3 years back, are not there for tokenized securities today in terms of their scale. Of course, there is a possibility that aspects like quantum computing can further change, the whole, you could say, hardware to software proposition very, very differently. But then we are not at there in terms of quantum and certainty of the quantum situation. We are still waiting for Q day. So let's see how that evolves. But then that's how we look at technology. We want to embrace it. We want to be ahead of the curve, and then solve the limitations as we go along. Make it coexist with existing solutions, because no one wants to abandon what they've got today. They want to build on top of it. There will be challenges with respect to scale, cost, and deployment, but those are getting solved faster than any of us imagined. So I think if we keep embracing the technology, we will keep solving the concomitant problems.
Excellent, excellent. We'll have to invite you back for a chat in a couple of years' time, then when quantum's really kind of fully matured to
Yes,
go to that.
why not? Yeah, I hope so.
Really interesting space. But I mean, how is TCS addressing some of the challenges around cross-border payments?
I think there are a couple of aspects related to cross-border payments. One is the cost, particularly for small value payments. The other is the fact of whether you can transfer at all. So I'll speak about both of those, and those are clearly important for cross-border payments. So if you look at the cost element, if somebody is going to if someone's earning a couple of $100 somewhere and sending $100 home, they don't want to pay $5 to anybody in order to make the transaction. The cost of such small value transfers, which are made by millions and millions of people globally on various payment channels around the world, that has to be brought down. It's not just about the social element to it. It is just unfair that there should be such a cost associated with a transaction. So that's one element. The other element that we have to keep in mind now is because of the whole geopolitical situation. You don't know whether you can make the transfers that you used to do before. So whose money gets stuck? Is it fair that it gets stuck? Because if somebody got into a particular business with a particular country and is doing a project, or is doing it could be a big civil construction project, for example, or any project, and then that country goes into a sanction regime. So whose money gets stuck? So today, I think the biggest concern for a lot of people outside, I would think the US and the West would be, can I get my money out? If I do work in some of these countries, when does the situation change? Smoother channels which allows the money to flow as long as the money is used for a legitimate purpose. I think that's a clear global need, which is beyond the need of cost, and that also needs to be serviced. So when we look at these things together, and the way in which payments have dramatically changed in the last 8 to 10 years, I think there are the elements that we are investing a lot of our efforts and solutions that we are bringing forward are related to anti-money laundering. What kind of capabilities that you have in order to check the transaction flow, where is it going, is the purpose right, what is it that someone wants to block, is the KYC accurate? So if you have elements of the right rigor of KYC, the right traceability of the transaction flow, and why the money is flowing from person, from institution A to B, then a lot of the challenges are related to cross-border flows and also payment flows are solved because you have the traceability. We have implemented our solution Quads in Switzerland for a number of these aspects, and the power behind that is that you have the ability to pinpoint a transaction, you have the ability to trace it, so the flow is not stopped. So that's an area that's an adjacent area to payments in which we are investing a lot of our efforts, because that will grow, and the more people tighten what they do, it will continue to grow.
Excellent, sounds great. On the topic of market infrastructure as well, I mean, how are you seeing the landscape evolving there at the moment?
I think the biggest challenge for market infrastructures globally is the amount of legacy that is there. One of our customers, she was telling us very nicely that they have been digital forever, right? They have been electronic for the better part of the last 30 years and more. Some parts of the world 40 years. There's huge efficiency that they've brought in, but they've not replaced their core systems. So there is a certain level of legacy. That legacy has got knowledge issues, not all of which can be solved by GenAI. That legacy has got issues related to openness of the systems. You cannot take a legacy mainframe based system and convert it into an open API based open finance system. So I think that is the biggest challenge. There are other challenges like resilience and challenges related to much greater availability which will come, because you cannot operate stock exchanges till 4 p.m. in the evening or 5 p.m. in the evening. It's got to change. But when even if those changes come, I think a lot of these organizations, in my view, not because I'm from a tech company, but it's probably the area where the legacy and the technology debt is among the highest today in terms of, if you just look at critical national infrastructures, this is an area where the technology debt that is there has to be overcome. Like we spoke earlier in the conversation with respect to tokenized securities, DLT, in a lot of those areas you can bring in technology and make it coexist. But the core system that is there, that underpins electronic clearing and settlement and electronic trading, those have to move away from legacy too for us to really be in the future. Excellent. That's how I would put it.
Sounds good. Well, I guess, just to finish off here then, I mean, what's next for TCS then? Is there anything else in the pipeline you can tell us about now?
There's a lot going on. I think, how we truly leverage GenAI to make our workforce, a next generation workforce is important for us. How we make our customers, move forward with GenAI and, leverage it the right way and gain productivity, that is important. I think we are almost already past the hype cycle and the fad. I think it does, in my view, it has peaked. People want realistic solutions. So I think if we bring forward the right solutions and get our customers working well with them in the next 6 to 12 months, I think we would have made a step forward. We want to be a pragmatic provider of next gen technology. We want to be fitting it for purpose all the time. But also on the other hand, we don't want to be waiting for it also. You've got to be ahead of the curve, but not just be doing something because you have to dabble with technology, but do something in a pragmatic way which delivers real business results. So I think that's how I would summarize what I believe is next for us over the next year.
Great. Well, exciting times ahead. Vivek, thank
Holiday in exciting times. Yes. Great.
Thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with us again.
Of course, Paul. My pleasure.
Enjoy the rest of the conference. See you soon.
Thank you, Paul.
Right.